Namaste. Welcome back to Smriti. Dr. Sarada Purna Sonty garu, thank you for coming back again. We are in episode 8. And in the last episode, you conveyed the message, prayer of Vedamata and the word Swadhyayam. And what do we have today?
Manas.
Okay.
My Manas conveys pranams to you and all my viewers. And it is very predominant word for a human being. How do we explain that? Manasvarupa darshanam manasvabhava shodhanam manas samadhi sampadam manognya tattva bhasuram tvadiya pada sevaya hi jayate nirantaram mahamatim mahakiram namami veda mataram. So, Manasvarupa Darshanam is what we have to gain today. And Manasvabhava Shodhanam, that is what we have to do. And Manas Samadhi Sampadam, that is where we need to raise above. And Manognya Tattva Bhasuram, that is what we need to experience. And Tvadiya Pada Sevaya Hi Jayate Nirantaram. May I be worshipping your Pada, where the Akshara resides. Mahamatim Mahagiram. I pray to you. Namami Veda Mataram. Let us remind ourselves that Akshara is the primordial principle at the origin of everything that manifests, with many dimensions. And it is finite. It's immense, very expansive and beyond. Yet this is subservient to our Atman, our mind. It is subservient. And it is the womb of all our experiences in our lifetime. And also the womb of the universe, because that's the manifestation. And Akshara belongs to two worlds. Mainly, manifest world, unmanifest world. And the other one is created world and non-created world. That's what it belongs to, the Akshara. So Akshara houses in the Manas. And it has a very unique mediatory capacity, that it mediates the thought, the experience, the knowledge, the vak, the prana, and the world. It mediates. That means it's a mediation ability. That's one of the unique characters of the Akshara. And Akshara gloatingly always said at one time in the past, you can go back to Vedic times here, and come back to the present, and it still says, and it will continue saying, I am better. I'm better than you. Akshara says, I am better than you and yourself, because whatever you know, I make it all known. The Akshara makes it all known. And I communicate to you. I allow you to express. I allow you to explicate, and I save it in my own form, Akshara form. And I am the subject of your speech, and I am the object of your speech as well. I am the primordial energy, my dears. At the same time, I get created by you. I am both. It's a duality that we live in. The potential of Akshara stays in dual worlds. So Akshara has 36,000 forms of fire sparks, elements. It's called Vispulingas. Okay? And there is a mantra, it says, Yadhau Sudipta ta pavakaha vispulingaha sahasrasaha prabhavante. And it says it comes out as vispulingas. That means every syllable, every sound that we make comes out like that. And what happens here? And then this akshara comes. We need to find out, to understand the ardham of the akshara that it carries, we need to address 4 aspects.
Okay.
One is rucham. Previous episode, we talked about rutam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha rutam. The next one is para, beyond. And there is one more, vyoma, the space, cosmic space. And then comes akshara, the sparks, vispulingas. We need to talk about these 4 to understand akshara artha that it carries with it. So rucha means sensorial energy transforming into universal energy. We are the microforms. Cosmos is the macro, Brahmanda. And the sensorial energy of our being transforming into universal energy is called richa. Okay? And the ru, when it happens, that means when the sensorial or when the cosmic energy comes into the sensorial areas, it manifests as a sound like the rukara. That is the rushitva shakti. And we will go a little further down with that little later. Means, what it means is, the universal energy is capsulated into microforms. When it manifests, it comes through the cerebral retroflex sounds. Because it's a connection between the external and the internal. That is, bahirakasha, ghatakasha. Okay, it's the connection. So what is happening here? Cha, cha is the second letter there. Cha is indraschakaraha, the indriya capacity. That means the sensorial capacity is symbolized or articulated or expressed or explicated as chakara. So Brahmatva, the Brahma Shakti, the Prana Shakti, the cosmic universal energy is coming into this microform and picking up the sensorial energy and the knowledge, and it's coming out in the form of a word. So that is one thing that we need to look at. And the second one, as I mentioned, is parama. Para. Para means knowledge of non-local area, non-local realms. Once we perceive anything, that means we are bringing into our jnana paridhi. That means that becomes local to you and me. Any knowledge that is non-local is para. Any knowledge that is in our jnana paridhi, in our conscious world, which we can reach, just like you pick up a word, that becomes local. That means prapanchika, panchabhuta. These are formed by the panchabhuta of the micro. So what is happening here? In this para state, everything needs to transcend the sensorial, the analytical, the rational, the experiential, mind, and every other state. And that means this has to raise above the jiva and the manas and the prana also. So energy at its highest potential state, beyond the power of senses and emotional mind or rational mind or analytical mind or experiential mind or anyone, is what is called para. Okay, if for this annadeha, manodeha, jnanadeha, we have the consciousness of all these 3 worlds. We know it, we do. So we need to transcend that too. So what is happening? Jnana karma, knowledge and act. We being with 5 senses, born with 5 senses, subtle body, emotional body, intellectual body, where the breath energy transforms into action, we need to raise above. That is, the mind, soul, body are in union when the para is getting. They cannot be separate. They need to be in unison. Okay, so at that moment, the I-ness, that means the I in us, loses its identity. I doesn't exist anymore. The para exists. So the third one is Vyoma, as I mentioned. 4 components we talked about, Vyoma. Vyoma is a place. The dictionary meaning is the Akasha. Space. Space element. The space element devoid of our skin is the Akasha, the Antariksha, the Vyoma. But if it's within, there is a space inside us where all these act. That is Manas, Buddhi, Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankaras. Everything starts functioning there. That is called Vyoma. So place where breath, intellect, emotion, speech ability, inherent thinking potentiality, and combined with action as a universal energy, it happens within. That means all these 4 live, house, harbor in this area. So this can be achieved or perceived. This area, that is the Vyoma within, can be perceived only with contemplation, concentration, single-pointedness, yoga, inner discipline, and emotional stability. Sitoshna sukha dukkeshu samaha sangha vivarjitaha. Bhagavad Gita says, sama dukkham, samam. We need that. And so the inner beings, inner realms, are the human beings' inner realms are called Vyoma. Okay, and now there is one more point I would explain, the 4th point, that is Akshara. The Akshara, what you and I talk, the East and the West. Even in Latin, there are Aksharas. They use Aksharas, but the Akshara has only form. It is not, it's only Prayoga state, using utility. So what happens is when they do mantras in Latin, there's a tick, 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 or tuck, 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 tuck. That means only shabda, noise. There is no, shabda has the shakti, artha has the shakti. Shabda shakti is the main element in the West. Please remember this one. All the worldly languages, the Shabda Shakti is the most important. So the mantra that we do with the meaning, Artha is the primary in the East. The Tantra with the sound, Shabda is the primary. There is a difference between the two. So Artha Prayogam, Shabda Prayogam. Okay? And then Aksharartham, Akshara Shakti. These are the various aspects that we do. And there is something called majestical spell in the West. They use only Shabdas. And who talked about these things in the East? We said, and it's our responsibility to mention the names and think about those scholars.
I was going to ask you.
Shakatayana, Spotayana, Apishila, Kashakritsna, another scholar, Aindra, Chandra, Shakapurni, and at the present time, in our contemporary times, Aurobindo talked about Aksharavadam. That means Akshara is the main component in human existence that creates the entire perception of the world and perception of self and living and life. All these things. And so this is, in the Drishti, it is mentioned in 4 ways. Prano vai vasishta rishihi, Mano vai Bharadvaja Rishihi, Shrotram vai Vishwamitra Rishihi, Prajapati vai Jamadagni Rishihi, Vag vai Vishwakarma Rishihi. Of all the things, one I would say Vishwakarma, the universal creation manifestation, is because of the Vag. That is Akshara. So the speech ability, articulation, sound explication, everything because of our sensorial experience and the manas that we have. And we as a human being, we are a part of this cosmos, this universal energy. And what connects us to is the Akshara, the pronunciation, the utterance of our being. Okay. And we will pick up few other words in our next episode. And I thank you all. Vani, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Sarada garu. What a wonderful 15 minutes or so it was in this episode. You really are talking about neuroscience, and you are bringing in the aspect of architecture, architects, and Vishwakarma. And I mean,
Yes.
you cannot take this very lightly. There is a lot of building that happens, an effort and an action, and the intent. So many things are involved in here, but beautifully explained, Sharda garu. Thank you so much. Really, I am benefiting so much from your life work, research, and I'm sure our viewers too. Thank you again.
Thank you, Vani.
Do visit us back again.
Yes.
We should continue. Namaste.